Judge Jackson also has faced offensive questions from figures on the far right about her qualifications. This past Wednesday, Fox News talking head Tucker Carlson demanded that President Biden produce Judge Jackson's score on the LSAT exam.
So it might be time for Joe Biden to let us know what Ketanji Brown Jackson's LSAT score was. What did she do in the LSATs? Why wouldn't he tell us that? That would settle the question conclusively as to whether she's a once-in-a-generation legal talent, the next learned at hand. It would seem like Americans in a democracy have a right to know that and much more before giving her a lifetime appointment, but we didn't hear that.
Mr. Carlson said he wanted to see Judge Jackson's LSAT score to gauge if she was, in fact, quote, a once-in-a-generation legal mind. Isn't it interesting that Mr. Tucker Carlson never once asked for LSAT scores of President Trump's nominees to the court, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, or Amy Coney Barrett? He never once questioned their qualifications to sit on the court or their academic credentials. Let's be clear, Judge Jackson graduated magna cum laude from Harvard University and cum laude from Harvard Law School. Not bad. As an undergrad, she received the Harvard College Scholarship for Academic Achievement. Let me repeat that, academic achievement. And she served as supervising editor on the Harvard Law Review. Mr. Carlson, of course, is notorious for his outrageous comments. I don't expect he's going to offer any apology to Judge Jackson, but I would urge all my Republican colleagues to disavow his remarks and disassociate themselves from the innuendo. We also continue to hear false allegations that Judge Jackson was handpicked by so-called liberal dark money groups. Once again, that claim is completely divorced from reality. The truth is this: President Biden undertook a rigorous process to select Justice Breyer's successor, seeking the advice of a bipartisan group of senators. And after weeks of consideration, he and he alone chose Judge Jackson. President Biden's selection process was deliberative, collaborative, and it took seriously the Senate's advise and consent role. It did not involve dark money groups. I can't help but note the irony of this line of attack coming from the other side of the aisle. After all, it was President Donald Trump who bragged that groups like the Federalist Society and Heritage Foundation actually drove his selection process for the Supreme Court. As a candidate, Trump said, and I quote, "We're going to have great judges, conservative, all picked by the Federalist Society," end of quote. Trump, never at a loss for words, made it very clear where he went to find his nominee. And Don McGahn, the Trump administration's first White House counsel, said about the Federalist Society in judicial selection, quote, "I've been a member of the Federalist Society since law school. Still am. So frankly, it seems like it's been insourced." Insourced was his word. And it's worth adding that Republicans, including Senator McConnell, have blocked every single effort to address the presence of hard money in our political system, dark money in our political system. We should have full disclosure. I support that. We're ready to vote on the floor. The leader on the Republican side resists. Judge Jackson also has faced baseless claims that she's a partisan Democrat just nominated to rubber stamp the Biden agenda. The claims have no basis in fact. She's even-handed and impartial, confirmed by the Senate on a bipartisan basis 3 different times, including last year. If Judge Jackson were such a partisan, why would so many prominent conservatives be supporting her? The short answer is they wouldn't. But she has that support and plenty of it, including from former Republican Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, retired D.C. Circuit Judge Thomas Griffith, a George W. Bush appointee, retired Fourth Circuit Judge Michael Luttig, a George H.W. Bush appointee, Bill Burke, a prominent Republican attorney who worked in the George W. Bush administration, Charles Freed, who served as Solicitor General during the Reagan administration, and many more. These conservative jurists and attorneys have endorsed her precisely because she's independent and fair-minded. She will not rubber stamp any president's agenda. These conservative leaders know that. On the court, Judge Jackson will be faithful to the Constitution and the rule of law. Finally, we hear the false allegation that Judge Jackson will be, quote, soft on crime. Look at her life, look at her record, and at the support she now has from the law enforcement community. As Judge Jackson noted in accepting the president's nomination, She has two uncles and a brother who serve as police officers. One of her uncles was chief of police in Miami. On the bench, she's approached each criminal case in a manner that we would ask of every judge. Look at the law. Look at the facts. It's not surprising that she's garnered the support of multiple law enforcement groups. This nominee, who is attributed as being soft on crime, has the endorsement of the Fraternal Order of Police.